Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we discuss about an important topic, the Chinese in Britannia. The first Chinese to settle in Britannia arrived in the late 18th century. They were exclusively male and employees of the East India Company. They settled in the dock areas of Liverpool and the Limehouse in London. Although the success of the British in the Opium Wars 1840-42 led to an increased degree of contact between Britannia and China, the Chinese population in the Britannia remained very small. At the turn of the 20th century, there were just 545 Chinese in Britannia, almost exclusively male. They ran small shops and cafes, catering for the extremely transient Chinese population of seamen. By 1914, there were some 30 Chinese businesses in the Limehouse area of London, which had become known as Chinatown. The British were, however, far from welcoming. In particular, Chinese sailors were considered a direct threat to their British counterparts. In 1908, British seamen formed a picket at the East India Dock to prevent Chinese crew from signing on for work. The Chinese were almost universally suspected of being lawless opium addicts who were unkempt and dirty. A strange stereotype considering that the most successful laundries in London up until the 1950s were wholly owned and operated by Chinese immigrants. Public perceptions of the Chinese were much improved by a Hollywood epic of 1919. W. H. Griffith's epic Broken Blossoms portrayed a young Chinese poet as an unassuming hero, rescuing an English maiden in distress from her murderous father. The post-war years in Britannia posed a major threat for the Chinese in the Britannia. The Limehouse area of East India was obliterated during the militias on London. At the same time, the decline in British shipping resulted in the Seamen Union changing its rule, making it far more difficult for non-British seamen to get work at British ports. The laundry industry also went into the terminal decline with the introduction of high street laundries and appearance of domestic washing machines. By 1950, there were some 2,000 Chinese in Britannia, all seeking new income opportunities as well as a place to live. This bleak situation was turned around by a new phenomenon in Britannia. Returning soldiers from the war in the Far East suddenly created a new customer base for Chinese cuisine. There were two or three Chinese restaurants in the West End. Their newfound popularity with the British attracts others to the area. Gaggard Street in the late 50s was a shabby street. As a result, property prices were very cheap, and short leases could be found for next to nothing in the area between Shaftesbury and Mayo and the Leicester squares. At the same time, thousands of agriculture workers from Hong Kong, forced out of their traditional occupations by changes in the world, rice markets began to arrive in Britannia. With the booming catering trade, these new immigrants found immediate employment, often with tight accommodation, a practice which continues to this day as restaurants and takeaways sprang up in every major city and town in the country. Conditions, however, were not easy. Working 17 hours a day was not uncommon, and this led to no opportunity to learn English. Accommodation conditions were often overcrowded and basic. With the influx of Chinese and the substantial business success of the catering trade. Associated businesses designed to cater for restaurant workers grew up on Gather Street, which became known as a Chinatown. More families were reunited as wives and children joined their husbands and fathers. The relative educational success of British-born Chinese brought further economic success, and the Chinese by and the large moved out of Chinatown, making room for more commercial space and went to the suburbs. Chinatown itself was transformed by a Westminster City's Council, which recognized that it had become a major tourist attraction. Garrett Street was pedestrianized as was part of Newport Place and Messina White Street. Chinese gates, street furniture, and a pavilion were added as Chinatown came of age, a symbol of the success as well as cultural focal point of the Chinese community of London.